Hello and welcome to Unboxed, the podcast that dives deep into the world of custom packaging and innovative brand experiences. In each episode, we'll be exploring the latest trends, innovations, and best practices in the design and packing industry, and then taking a look at how they can help businesses like yours to create memorable and impactful brand experiences. I'm your host, Sam Johnston. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to Unboxed, the podcast that dives deep into the world of custom packaging and innovative brand experiences. In each episode, we'll be exploring the latest trends, innovations, and best practices in the design and packaging industry and how they can help businesses just like you to create memorable and impactful brand experiences. I'm your host, Sam Johnston, and in this episode, we'll be talking to Doug Epperly, the president at Merchant Boxes and one of the most experienced and probably dangerous executives in the country in the space of design, logistics, fulfillment, sourcing, and all kinds of amazing things to do with brand. Great to have you here, Doug.
Thanks, Sam. It's great to see you. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, great. And I think that just for the listeners' perspective here, we're going to ask 5 questions. And we do that so that as you listen to all of the amazing thought leaders and C-suite and these amazing brands, you can jump to the question that you are most relevant in. We'll chapter it in there. But the first question will be what inspired our guests to get into the custom packaging industry or branding industry, and how did they get started in the field? The second one's going to be how does custom packaging contribute to creating a unique brand experience, and what are some of those most effective strategies that they've seen for achieving that? The third one's going to be, can they share any success stories or case studies maybe of some businesses that they have transformed and the branding and custom packaging has been amazing within? Number 4 is going to be, what are some of the biggest challenges or roadblocks that businesses face when it comes to custom packaging and how might they overcome them? And the last but not least will be, how do they see the future of custom packaging evolving in the next 5 to 10 years? And what could businesses like you be doing now to stay ahead of the curve? So with all of that in mind, we'll get started with the first question, Doug, which is, what inspired you to get into the custom packaging industry, and how did you get started in the field?
Thanks, Sam. It's actually been quite of a journey to get here, to be honest with you. So I spent a long career in the CPG space, in the food industry, where branding is incredibly valuable in terms of, what the customer and how the consumer reacts to your brand. So some of the most major brands that were out there, Otis Spunkmeyer Cookies, La Brea Bakeries, that customers really resonated with and they really felt a connection to. So I saw the power of the brand in action. And so when I was moving on from that industry and Merchant Boxes came along, it was an opportunity to really go in and create that same experience for those customers, that, where you build brand loyalists and where you build, kind of that cult of following of a brand. And you do that by creating these experiences where a customer feels very, very personally attached to what you're doing and to what you're creating. So for me, it was a natural transition to move from, one set of CPG into actually a little bit more behind the scenes of creating that packaging and creating that brand so that consumer could really connect and feel attached to that brand.
That's awesome. So number 2 is, how does custom packaging contribute to creating a unique brand experience? And what are some of the most effective strategies, maybe for businesses that are listening to this, that you've seen for achieving it?
So, it's kind of a new world order today where customers are connecting to brands in a different way, right? Via all the social media channels and everything that's out there. So, but it still comes down to that tangible touch, feel experience that a customer has. So, from a packaging perspective, when the customer gets your package, and unfortunately, a lot of brands think the package is nothing more than a carrier to get the product there. But the experience starts the moment that it's received. And so it's so important that you create that experience that the customer feels special, the consumer feels special when it comes in. They connect immediately to that. And then they really start going through that experience, and they have that dopamine hit, if you will, of going through the packaging and opening it up, and the whole experience gets really special, and they feel valued and they feel connected. So, that's really the important part of creating these experiences for consumers as we go forward.
Love that. Yeah. Putting the customer first is so important. And that leads naturally into our third question. So could you share any maybe success stories or businesses that you've helped to transform using their brand and custom packaging?
We've been working with a lot of very small companies lately that are just now kind of getting into the space, who don't really understand yet where they want to go, who they want to be. So, we've been helping them create a lot of their different concepts. So merchant boxes offers more obviously than just the box, right? So we have branding design, we have package design, we have, graphic design. So we're working with a lot of different companies today that are really trying to create their persona in the marketplace that differentiates them from all the others. So, when we talk about working with companies like Moonlight or Happy Valley or some of those others, even T-Spressa, that we've done some work for, it really helps them to differentiate themselves from some of the other companies that are out there. They may do similar products, but when you do the higher end packaging, Sam, it really does give you a point of differentiation that the consumer feels like they've really found something special. And there may be similar products or even similar things in the marketplace. When you could really make that connection, it changes the whole dynamic of the relationship.
Fantastic. Well, number 4 here is, what are some of the biggest challenges or roadblocks that businesses face when it comes to custom packaging, and how might they overcome them?
Well, I think there's two things. One is they don't really know how to get started. So they don't have an end-to-end partner with them that can really help them through the entire process. So they see this, they have this wonderful product that they've developed, and then they think, I need a box to send it to the customer. And so they just get a box and they send it to them. And there's a lot of packaging companies out there today, to be honest, that are happy to sell you a box, or that are happy to sell you a piece of corrugate, or they're happy to sell you what they can produce on their lines. Merchant Boxes approaches it a little bit differently. And kind of the team we built says, tell us who you want to be, and we're going to figure out a way to help you get there. And, we design the package, we can design the branding, we can design everything. And, we always like to say our little catchphrase is, if we design it, we can find it. And so we work with a variety of suppliers from all across the world that can make some very special packaging. So, I think those companies that are just getting started really need to think holistically more about what they want their packaging to be, and how they want to interact with their consumer. And by doing that, then they're going to say, okay, this is more than just a box. This is more than just a carrier. This is part of the experience. And, once they have that kind of that epiphany, then we can really get involved with them and help them kind of design that entire experience. And I think everyone knows that kind of the world has changed. There was a step change in the retail marketplace. Bricks and mortar, we're slowly seeing those go away. So more people are experiencing these events in their home today. And I can't tell you the number of people that I talk to that always say, oh my God, let me show you this box I got.
Yeah.
And they reach under their desk or out of their closet, and they're keeping the packaging. And so there's a permanent reminder in the consumer's home of that experience that they had. And when you create those type of experiences, that's when you start talking about repeat business and building kind of that legacy and kind of building that relationship with that consumer.
I love that. Yeah, I think it's the difference between it's okay, honey, it's just a box for me, versus, hang on, come and check out this box. Come and see what they sent me. This is crazy. Bringing those experiences in home is epic. Yeah,
it is. It really creates that connection, and every time they see that box, right, it really says something special to them about their relationship with that brand, and they really feel like they're part of that brand family. And it really does build an amazing connection that the company can continue to build on for a lifetime. Once you have that brand loyalist, once you have that person who's out there spouting the advantages of your brand, then once you create these ambassadors, you're building a whole team of people that's going to help build your business. That's not costing you anything more than the packaging that you did to get them that fabulous product that you designed.
Love that. Yeah. Well, the last one, I guess, building on that topic is, what do you see as the future of custom packaging and custom branding? How is that going to evolve over the next 5 to 10 years? And what should businesses be doing today so they can prepare for tomorrow?
Yeah, I think, Sam, we're going to continue to see an evolution in packaging, right? We always hear the buzzwords today. There's sustainability. There's all those things that we have to be worried about today. So I think companies today should be taking a longer term look at where they want to be in that 5 to 10 years and how they can get there. What's right for the earth? What's right for their customers? What's right for their consumers, the end users, and what's right for them? And, I think in 5 to 10 years, those experiences in the home environment are going to continue to grow. But the bar's getting higher every time, right? Everybody knows about Apple and the experience of opening an iPhone or an iPad or something, and It's even made, inside cultural where people peel the top off of the iPad. I think going forward, we're going to have to find ways to elevate those through augmented reality, through obviously AI is going to be a big part of what we do in the future. There's, you can make things now today with lights and with sound and there's so many things that are going to continue to elevate that experience that I think companies need to be looking at that now, not in 3 years, not in 5 years, but saying, how am I going to get there in the next 3 to 5 years to make sure that I'm on the cutting edge of what packaging is happening then? And certainly, that's where we're looking at the business today. We're partnering with a lot of different companies that do that augmented reality, that do movable parts, that do light, that do sound, that do all of those kind of things that really help create that. And certainly we're trying to do that in such a way that we are being friendly to the earth, that we're using packaging materials that make sense going forward. And then, we're trying to find things too that obviously keep in mind the cost consciousness that companies have when it comes to their packaging. So, we're looking at it from a very high level to say, how do we create that? And I think in that next 5 to 10 years, everyone's going to have to up their game quite a bit in order to stay competitive.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for giving us these answers, Doug. It's been absolute gold, and I'm sure the listeners are going to get a lot out of this. And that's it for this episode of Unboxed. Thanks to Doug for sharing those insights and expertise with us. If you have enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review wherever you listen to it. It means a lot to us and the algorithm robot overlords. And if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future episodes, or you'd like to be a guest on it, you can reach us on email at unboxed@merchantboxes.com. Until next time, keep thinking outside the box and creating unforgettable brand experiences. Have a good day. Bye. Thank you for listening to today's episode. It was sponsored by Merchant Boxes. Merchant Boxes provide custom packaging to large businesses and small creators that customers love. If you're looking for award-winning custom package designs that make your business and products stand out from the competition, click the link in the show notes to find out more.